Sometimes you need to take an existing block and modify it into a new block. Now, the explode command can help. Let's open up the annotation example file again. Now, the explode command explodes a compound object when you want to modify its components separately. That means it breaks down the object like a block into its basic objects. You can also use it to explode a polyline to break that polyline up into its regular lines and arcs. You can also explode multi-line text, making each line of that text single-line text. Go to Model Space. Once you explode something, the objects can be edited now outside of the block, leaving the other block instances in the file alone and unchanged. Other objects that can be exploded include dimensions, polylines, regions, etc. Now, if we wanted to make a second chair block design in this drawing, but wanted to retain the original chair, then insert a new chair block, we can. I'm going to use the insert command. I'm going to look for our chair. Found it in our list. Click OK. Then I'm going to insert it here. Now I'm going to explode this. You can just type in the command, explode, or type in the letter X for explode, or you can go up to the Home tab on the ribbon, go to the Modify panel, and here's the Explode button. Now select your object, press Enter, and that object is no longer a block, but is the individual parts. Now, unfortunately, these parts can't be put back into the block. If I want the chair back, I'm going to have to either just undo this, and as you can see, my chair is back, or I'm going to have to erase it and reinsert my chair block. So be careful. There are only a few times when you really want to explode a block. That's when you no longer want the line work to function as a block, or when you want to use the block as a base for maybe a new block. So let's make a new chair design. Let's erase these arms, and let's put in square arms. Just something real simple. Put it in here. Trim up the line work. And let's mirror these arms. Make sure everything is on layer 0. And now we have a new chair. So let's make it into a block. Type in the word block, press Enter, give it a name. We're going to call it Chair 02. We're going to pick our base point, which is going to be the rear of the chair here. And now we select our objects. Click OK. And now we have a new chair block. So now we have options. When we go to insert a chair, we have chair, or we have chair 02. And that's our new chair block. So that's one reason and one good use for the explode command. Well, let's open up another file. Let's look at the attributed block example file. I'm going to show you what happens when you explode an attributed block. This is where the explode command can get kind of hairy. So we have some items in here, but let's make something a little bit different. I'm just filling in some information so that it won't look exactly the same. Okay, now that we have this, I'm going to show you what happens when you explode an attributed block. Go to the explode command, select it, and press Enter. Wait a minute, where'd all my text go? You see, that's what happens. It loses the values of the attributes and refers back to, if I double click on here, it refers back to the tagline that you inserted or typed in when you created that attribute definition. So remember that. And the only way to change this text now is to edit this here. Now notice something, I put spaces in there. A tag cannot contain spaces, so keep that in mind. Be careful when you explode a block, especially an attributed block. You could lose important data. Let's undo this. I'm going to copy this block just so that we can see the original. I'm going to copy it one more time. I'm going to leave this one the way it is. I'm going to explode the bottom block. But what happens if you need to explode this title block, but you want to retain all of that information that's in there? Well, you're in luck. You can use the burst command. Type in the word burst, press Enter, and then select the block. Press Enter again, and look, it looks the same. My drawing is great. It doesn't look like this. When I double click on this, it's actually single line text. So the burst command is extremely similar to the explode command, only that it will retain the text values that you put into your attributed blocks and will convert it to regular single line text. You use the explode command to get the basic elements of a block, but you use the burst command to get its data.